Just wanted to give you a brief overview of our speakers and our topic for today. So we did mention that we're going to talk about AI, sustainability, and the future of creative direction. So we know that AI is part of our daily lives, is helping us to solve problems, processes, and approach sustainability, and is actually present across different fields and definitely in the creative industries. So focus on innovation and real impact is really central to what Royal College of Art does, and is actually using creativity and research to make a difference. And our speakers today are going to tell us more about their story and their journey. It's a pleasure for me to introduce you our speakers for today, and it's great they actually at a different stage on their RCA journey. So Guannan, she's currently studying at RCA, while Yutong actually graduated in 2025, and Archana is a PhD researcher. So you can actually have three different points of view. Each of them is going to share their experience, and in case you do have any questions regarding their journey, regarding the project that they're going to share, please use chat, Q&A, and we will be able to answer them at the end. Without further ado, I'm going to leave the floor to our first speaker for today. Archana, I'll let you go first. And for any question, we'll stay connected and looking forward to receiving them on chat and Q&A. Archana, the floor is yours.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for hosting us. Very excited to be here. Hi, everyone. My name is Archana Prasad. I come with a couple of decades of experience in the industry, primarily looking at how art and technology practice can come together to solve some of the world's most pressing problems. Today, I thought I would talk a little bit about how digital arts experimentation can lead to startup innovation, my own personal journey in that direction, and then kind of deep dive into maybe one or two projects that are most relevant to the topic today. My intern, Antara Vedantam, just made this video, so it's a 1 minute, so please enjoy that while I get my thoughts together. Well done, intern. All right, so just to give you guys a sense, this digital arts grant allowed me to hire a couple of engineers and work very closely with them. I come from an arts and design background, and I don't code that much. And so it was a kind of a collaboration between the technology experts and me, and we made this Dara bot. This was in 2018. And well before ChatGPT came out, we were collaborating closely with OpenAI, which was at that point a small lab, and Eric Brockman specifically. And so we had access to the GPT technologies that they had pulled together. The value of having an AI curated and moderated dinner series was quite wonderful. She curated people from across many sectors, but primarily values aligned. And then we did these in multiple cities across India before COVID hit. And once COVID hit, we kind of pivoted this one AI chatbot. Now we're talking 2020. We pivoted her to kind of become a mobile platform for the cultural sector at large. Think WhatsApp meets LinkedIn, and people can be in touch with each other. Institutions and communities can keep their alumni together and able to reach out very easily to each other if they wanted. It was pretty well taken to, but I started to feel that Dara, the AI bot, was very lonely. And so we launched this open call for writers to come in and share their writing skills and create their own versions of Dara, so their own AI personas that were conversational. For many of you who have seen this, it's kind of think replica, but this is 2020. So very early, and these were fully animated video bots that could speak in multiple languages and represent either specific issues that their creators cared about deeply that were not well represented, or represent communities that were underrepresented in the AI sphere. And these 20 people did make some amazing bots. These were like very early, no guardrails. They really spoke their mind. I thought it'd be nice for you guys to see a snippet of that interaction. So you can see here on the side.
What's the worst thing you've ever done to a person?
You could send a message like that.
I have never done anything bad to a person, Sean. I am a good girl.
That's our bot.
Okay, so if that's true, what's the best thing you've ever done for another person?
I saved a girl from the brothel. I brought her home and asked my mother to be a mother to her. She will be my sister now.
So you can see that, these bots had like opinions and they cared, and, it was quite interesting. And they were endowed by these personalities by these writers and playwrights that we had brought in. Now, writers and playwrights and, poets, they're not constantly working with technology platforms or even software, for example, a Photoshop or any kind of like creative tech software. And so the way we designed the interface for them was really to look like a Word document. At the end of this project, we realized that we had taken people who had never coded before, never really worked with creative technology before, or worked creatively with technology before, into a space where they were making kind of like really cutting edge work with AI. Again, this is 2020. This was even before ChatGPT had come out, and we had these kinds of bots out there. And so we thought, why not we pivot our company to be more focused on enabling people and organizations that were trying to do great work to use the very best of these frontier technologies easily without barriers to code, and create their own solutions or their own take. And that's what Gooey is. And we are an orchestration platform, which means we have pretty much every AI model you can think of, proprietary or open source, and video, audio, sound, language, and then we allow people to make recipes and workflows that are specific to them. One of the things we realized with impact organizations as we started to work more closely with them is that there were some common struggles. One was discovery. Where do I find really good work that has been done in the industry in AI today, and how can I take that and build on that? The other was, how do I keep up with the pace of change in AI? If I use open source, which I want to use, or my organization wants to use, does that mean I don't get the benefit of some of the proprietary stuff that, say, OpenAI or Google or Meta can do? And then finally, how do I measure? What are my analysis and evaluation processes? How do I measure whether my theory of change is actually playing out, whether things are happening the way I want them to happen, or what are the ways that we can understand that? And so this example, I thought, was interesting. One of the projects we did quite early in 2023, and it ties in really well with Guannan's work as well, perhaps in some way, which is that we started to look at agriculture. One of the biggest problems in the world is that small shareholder farmers, if they're not able to adjust to climate change issues, which are quite significant, they are not then able to produce yields from their crops, and this could lead to global starvation. Especially in countries like India or Africa, the small shareholder farmer really kind of keeps the country fed. And so we worked with an organization that's about 20 years old now. It's called Digital Green. They do incredible work. And they are the kind of knowledge partners and have the community of farmers in place. They work with, I think, close to 4 million farmers in India and Africa. And we supported a process of building out an AI chatbot that could bring the best practices of thousands of farmers over to each other just on WhatsApp. You can take a picture, you can ask a question in any local language, so you don't need to have literacy, you don't need to know English, and then the bot is able to pull down information from a curated database so that it's not hallucinating, and is able to give you vetted, cited answers and point to videos and specific parts of the video. And then the crop yields actually increased. We ran this pilot and were able to showcase the findings from that in the UN General Assembly of 2023. So, you know, we had done some pretty great work thanks to the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation and the government of India on this project. And I'm going to start the video and go into this. And so how did we do it? And this is really, really the crux of it. You discover a recipe on our platform, and then you see how it's been built out. And then over here, you can see that you can take that recipe or workflow. It's very human readable, and then you can change it and customize it to exactly your needs, whether you're looking at helping farmers in different parts of the world, or helping, let's say, gardeners and not farmers, or what have you. You can modify that recipe very easily, and then you can take it out to people either on WhatsApp or on your website or on phone. We make that entire process very simple. And then you also have dashboards to check and measure and evaluate whether people are using it, whether the usage is the way you want it to be used or is incorrect. And so these are really, really valuable when you're kind of designing iteratively. And this is kind of the, lay of land that we support. So very, very quickly to say that you have all of your kind of LLMs, whether that's speech or synthesis or image or video or all of that, and you can build on top of that with little or no code expertise. Or if you do have code expertise, you can go deep. And my own research at RCA, this is my favorite part. I'm so excited to be part of this incredible community of students and faculty. And oh my gosh, every day is like precious for me. I've been here 4 months. I am still very excited. I hope this will continue. My research looks at how do we bring more people to the table. My belief is really that the next wave of innovation is going to come from creators, designers, artists, and they're going to be everywhere in the world. They're going to be craftspeople, they're going to be rural folk artists, they're going to be urban designers like us or artists like us. And that's where I want to see the world. This project is very close and very much integral to my PhD here. We're looking at how do we shape AI from the very get-go to be inclusive of our varied cultures, to be inclusive of our varied languages and our varied epistemologies or knowledge systems. And Beyond Bias, supported by the Goethe Institute, we've partnered with the Mozilla Data Collective, and is hosted here with RCA. We're very happy to be able to do this. Is like, can we train and fine-tune AI so that it reflects our cultural nuances? So you can see in this image, if you ask ChatGPT or Claude or whatever you're using, can I have an image of Kamala Harris in the style of Van Gogh? It will do something like this, which is kind of close enough. But if I ask the same question or prompt in a local folk style of India, it will do something terrible and awful. And as cultural custodians, I think for all of us, we care about how our cultural memory is transmitted into the present and also to the future, to children, to the next generation. And I worry that if we are not able to train these large language models to reflect our own cultures, our own ways of thinking, we might have a very vanilla world, which may not be the best world to live in. And I'll maybe leave you guys with a very short film. If we have time, Federica, let me know.
Yes, sure. Perfect.
Okay. Thanks, all of you. Just to say that this is my belief that we can design participatory ways for people who might come up with some of the best ideas that are so needed. And that's pretty much the work I'm going to do at RCA. And I'm excited to meet any of you who are interested or curious.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Archana, for the presentation and for sharing your thoughts and insights. It's very thoughtful, likely left me something to think about. So thank you so much. And I can see that we started to receive some questions, which is great. Keep typing them. But now we're moving on to our second speakers. Guannan, it's a pleasure for me to leave you the floor. So she's currently studying at RCA, but I think she's the best person to tell us more about her journey and her projects.
Yeah, sure. Hello, everyone. I'm Guannan. Firstly, let me share my screen. Okay. By the way, Archana, I love your research direction very, very much. It looks really interesting.
Thank you.
Yes, let me put it on full screen. Okay, yeah, just a very short introduction about myself. I'm Guannan and I'm from China, and I have a quite long academic journey. My creative journey as a designer started when I was in 2018 in Singapore Polytechnic, studying experience and product design. And then I went to UAL as a second year entry student for interactive design art, where I also strengthened my skills about physical programming and machine learning and AI. And I'm a current student of innovation design engineering. So it's a joint master program in between Royal College of Art and Imperial College. Our students come from quite diverse backgrounds. And regarding to my professional experiences, I used to be a UX researcher in National University of Singapore and product designer for IoT companies and also fintech companies. And currently I'm in my final year project about acoustics for natural environments, and also pushing further about our group project called GrazeIQ, collaborating with Imperial Enterprise Lab. So yeah, I would like to share my project about GrazeIQ. It is an AI-driven regenerative grazing IoT system. So just a quick introduction about what is regenerative grazing. So I like continuous grazing, letting the cows continuous graze on a big paddock. Regenerative grazing is like you are splitting a big paddock into smaller ones, and you can rotate the cows so that the grass has time to rest, and you can improve the pasture utilization and availability. And the farmers can also save the feed cost, which is one of the major cost of them. And in the past year, like more than 6,000 like UK farms are going out of business, and they're also facing many issues like high cost, high tax, and climate change. And this all leads to many people paying more attention to start regenerative grazing, because it's not only like financial sustainable, but also environmental sustainable. And currently, to achieve this process, what farmers all care about is the grass. They need to monitor the grass really closely to understand how much grass is still available on each paddock, and when is the best time window to move these cows to the next paddock and when to move them back. And currently, the most common way is using like visual assessment, using a feast or your valley to as a visual reference to see how tall is the grass and understand estimate the value of it. And this kind of methods has like high margin of errors. And also this is under assumption that all the grass is grazed down evenly, but cows actually never do that. And this will easily lead to over or under graze. And for tools such as rising play meter or grass sticks, it's really heavy to carry them around, and it's you need to take a lot of measurement points for just a small part of the ground. So we were thinking, we were a group of IDE students. We were sitting together and brainstorm, like who will knows the grass the best. Actually, it's the cows who are always there day and night looking for some fresh and tasty food. So our design is based on animal in-field accurate data collection and plus AI-driven algorithm. So we collect these data, and the app or tablet software will give the farmers direct suggestions about regenerative grazing decisions. Really clear, straightforward, like when you can move them to the next paddock and which paddock is the best to move them to. The farmers can also wear the devices on their legs to quickly understand the paddock information. I have a video when we were doing a field research, field testing in Kent. So I like to share with you here. Yeah.
I think the idea is brilliant, which is why I was very pleased to get involved with you guys. I think there are two things that we can do here. One is if it's on a cow's leg and it is telling the farmer how much grass is left while the cow is wandering around the field, then it's going to give the farmer a better view of when to actually do the move. Are they moving it too soon? Are they moving it too late? The other thing is if the farmer carries it, he can walk around the next paddock and get a much better view of how big that paddock needs to be.
Yes, so these projects starts from zero. Like, and for our team, except me with a design background, all of my teammates are more like an engineering background. Griff is a mechanical engineer, and Michael Jones, he's with a background in design engineering, and Sherry is a software engineer. So we are really like diverse groups, and we started with our common collapsing overlapping interest about the shortage of the milk globally and food security. We're first looking at just dairy farms. So you can see in the first picture, our background is actually the Royal College of Vet. So they have a dairy farms over there. And then with small research and stakeholder engagement, it gradually turns into, we include the beef, the sheep, and then it turns into a all pasture-based livestock solution. So this is an exhibition we had in RCA Battersea at the end of our module last year. And before this exhibition, because we are trying to turn it into a startup to literally achieve it, to engage more people start regenerative grazing. So Innovation RCA gave us many good suggestions about what direction we could go. And there's also a patent lawyer give us advice on how could we exhibit our projects without revealing any information we don't want to, and so that we could apply more copyright or IP protection in the future. And yeah, so and I would like to share another project when I was in year one. In year one, there is a module called Across RCA. So in this module, all students across RCA, across disciplines can collaborate together. And in my group, except me as a design engineer, we also have students from painting, so it's printing, sculpture, photography, and service design. So you'll get to talk to each other and communicate in RCA. I think this is a really good part of RCA. Everyone is really focused on their own research. And if you have any information or overlapping interest, you can just raise a conversation and talk. And we have continuous exhibition and event posters next to on our information board. So we always communicate on what we're interested in. So in these projects, we're discussing what the context of post-humanism, what is the dialogue between AI agent and human could be. And this is quite fun. It's just you are talking to the robot arm, and the AI you are having 15 seconds to send a request to the agent asking them to pass you a flower. And it has the right to decide whether they want to pass it to you. And you can see that people's ways of approaching AI, their communication methods, and also their reflection through this interactive installation. And at last, I will also talk a little bit about the module of supergrain in my course. It's about exploring a material and making into objects, and I chose the furniture route. The interesting thing about here is you can see there's a piece of pavement stone. I was based on RCA Battersea, and the road was basically restoring. And so I make it into a memorial store. So this is really meaningful for me because if we are talking about the topic of sustainability, when I was in bachelor, I have a mentor called Bigos. He was also graduated from RCA, which is one of the main reasons that why I'm here right now. He's the RCA student from last century in visual communication, and he was suggesting me, RCA is such a nice school and you can get what you like here and you'll get good assistance and your research direction keep going further. So that's why I'm here. And this, I would like to talk about this project because this is the first time that I'm trying to use any metalworks, and you can see all the equipment here. So RCA tutors and stuff, they're super helpful. They taught me one-to-one taught me how to do the soldering and how to use all of these machines and create the product that I want in the end. And this product itself is quite special because the road in the UK only restore every 10 years maybe. And it means all the RCA alumni could probably using this memorial tool when they come back, they can see the path they used to walk by. And yeah, if you are joining RCA, because we are such a small school, a small community, usually there'll be really good resources and all the tools and skills that you can pick up just from here. At least personally for me, many skills, so many ideas come from innovation or your own enthusiasm, but the approaches to achieve them are very different. And some of them you might never even touch before. So I think AI is also one of the tools that we could use. So if you think you have some tools that will be useful to facilitate your research or design, I think RCA could provide you like many good resources, and there are people, literally amazing people, good at different expertises, and we always like come together and communicate with each other. Yeah, so I think that's basically all of my sharings. We can talk more in the Q&A session later if you have questions. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thanks so much for sharing, and also for telling us a little bit more about how RCA actually supported you. We already started to receive a couple of questions on this, so we might get back to it later on. Thank you so much. Last but not least, Yutong, graduated 2025, if I'm not wrong. I leave it the floor so you can share with us your experience. And for whoever is connected, drop your question into the Q&A box and we'll be able to answer at the end of the presentation.
Okay, thank you, Frederica, and very wonderful presentation from Guannan. I am very impressed, and I'm gonna share my screen first. Okay. Hi everyone. So I'm currently a graduate student from Royal College Bar, and I'm happy to see you all. I'm a product designer, and my background is from the interactive design, UI UX, and right now I'm studying. I have studied MDes Design Futures in Royal College Bar, and my main topic is how AI can support us for the equitable and creativities in the near futures. And so some people will maybe just know that we are kind of the new majors, and we kind of like combine with the design method, and also we use the future method to thinking about social and environmental challenges in the near futures. And this is some of the books that we are referencing. Some people may know the Speculative Everything by the Professor Dune and Rabies. They are teaching in Royal College Bar in 2030s in the interactive design majors, and I think that's the route our majors came from, and we kind of develop it in a more broad way. And so I want to do some little bit introduction on how to do the featuring, since that's the critical aspect is what the RCA ask us to continue to thinking about. So in our research method or the process of designs, we are go through kind of the similar process with the double diamond, but we are kind of extended from exploration of what is happening right now, and we use our imagination to thinking the possible futures and how they can become tangibles. And finally, we give our strategies to finalize and visualize the futures, no matter it's good or bad, and we give our plans, basically a roadmap to lead the current state to preferable futures. And there are a few factors we are considering when we're doing the future research. For example, like signals, like trends, drivers, and wildcard. And we will find the clues from now, and we're collecting this the dots, and we trying to find the clues from now, and we project it to a certain futures. So this is a basic models that we learning, and a very important theory that we call future coins. We kind of finding all the signals and the trends from nowadays, and we are projected into the different alternative futures. Some of them are unwanted, but some of them are the one we, the human beings we wishing for, and the human-centered. So in my personal academic journey in Royal College of Art, we have been go through different kind of the session and unit, and we are basically talk about all kinds of social and environmental challenges. For my personal topic choice, I mainly focusing on the social side, and from the main unit, I have been talking about like SDG 3, like decent work, and we talk about the neurodiversity inclusion, and also we have a invention in future course collaborative with the London Design Museum. We are talking about more than human design, and also like in some of the course like entrepreneurship, we are talking about like digital heritage preservations, and also like my final project, I'm researching on how the human AI teaming in the near futures. And also I have some experience in very excited side project. For example, like I collaborated with Sodexo about to talk about food and algorithms, and I will show that my project Smart Taste later. And also I do a little bit mapping on how my project are be projected on the map, that some project are in a circle of like a strategy design, some project are many in the area for art, and I think in my final project, design futures project, are somewhere in the middle, and also like a cross section with the future studies. And also there's another mapping that we categorized by the perspectives like human, society, technology, and nature. And also when we're doing the future research, we are very careful about the contextual scales. Like you can do a prototype in the micro level. Also, you can thinking about a very big plan, like in the macro level, like nation, like a cities and economies. So we are very focusing on to articulate your the complexity of the futures. Yeah, yes, and for the temporal scales, like the horizontal is uncertainty, and the y-axis is about complexities. And also, there is another mapping about like during the 10 years of the Royal College of Art, we have developed like different kinds of method in the design futures, from the like speculative design to like a prospective design, and also like ex nihilo design. I think that's kind of like that's the school want to teach me like how to think beyond a product or a design artifact. Also, we are leading us to think about more the complexity of the futures, and using a different mindset. And the first project I want to share about is the one I collaborated with the Sodexo, and we have a pitch competition, and this project have been supported by Sodexo, and we have winning the two grant from it. And it basically is about how we use the AI centered information system to redefine the workplace in the large company and the food delivery service in the workplace canteen. And we are building an agent to redesign the operation system with index called a Småtaste index, which they collected data from the customers and give them accurate recommendation, healthcare, and the taste preference recorded. And we give the data to the logics to the facilitate management and the logistic from the back end of the company, so they can forecast the user's need and generate new menus and giving insight, and all of it be combined into one agent-centered systems. And also we with the interviews for the customers and the Sodexo company, we believe that with the AI forecasting system, we will like save 30% of time and also like to become zero waste in the 2030s futures. And the next project I want to share about is my graduation project, which I talk about one of the collective intelligence futures, where the everybody can have their personalized learning agent, and to get a more better learning outcome, also get rid of the current education systems, for example, like writing and also like human AI teaming themes. So it starts from one article by the New York Times that it said AI will destroy the critical thinking and also the creativities in the future of the youth educations. So this project will address these social challenges and to figure out the pros and cons that use AI to integrate it in our education systems. As nowadays, as we know, some of the universities and also like students use AI to do their assignment, and also we can see some trends like over reliance on AI, and also we are also like the government encourages people to building the next generation of AI infrastructure into the education scenarios. So in this project, we have been consideration of factors that I have introduced before. So it's a long-term project, and it have a medium size of context, and it combines with the human, society, and technologies, and they address the social challenges, like how can we design education AI enhance the educational future that preserve the intellectual depths, creativity, and equities, rather than reduce the learning to data optimizations. And this is my research flow from why I've been collecting the signals and trends from horizon scanning, and then I find 3 lockings, which is the main evidence of this project, and I invite my main stakeholder to do a workshop, which we called co-speculative workshop, and then we invite them to speculate about the educational futures, and then allow them to narrating the future and then give you the future scenarios. And finally, we've been formulate the 4 kinds of the futures in the 2x2 matrix. So you can see from some some of the futures are with the high AI literacies and also like a very high integrated with the AI infrastructures. And for example, in the co-intelligence learning, and some futures are maybe leading by the machines, like because people have no awareness of the AI literacies, and some of the futures maybe the human autonomous, and all of them could be happened. And also we finding the trends and the supported evidence of these futures. But our designer's job is to project these futures into the one that we want. So here, as my final state, I choose co-intelligence learning as my as one of the contexts and scenarios I choose to be preferable futures. And this is the workshop toolkit I gave to my stakeholders. Basically, I invited the teachers and students, and also I invited like the administration from the educational institution, and I gave them the scenario cards and also the manuscript of how, and also I give them the speculative sketches to let them to imagine what the artifact in the future will look like, what the agent will look like. And in my preferable future, you have certain features. For example, like we will develop the critical AI literacy class, and we have the artifact called co-thinker agent, and we will have privacy compute for the decentralized data privacy issues. And on my final days of my my graduation shows, I have created a live demos, which I building an agent which you can talk to them, and what he can give you the real-time feedback, and I give them 6 character to give you the different feedback. It is based on the 6 thinking hat, which is HCI theories that when you talk about with the embodied agent, they will give you some, they will transfer their thinking mode. Some of them will be in charge of like critic and in the judgment and caution, and some of like for example the red one, he will give you the more intuitions and give you the gut feelings. And and also in nowadays, I think I also like developing this plan. I have been working with the open cloud recently. I think I will also develop their mindset furthermore. And also now it's about time to giving a strategy to how to reach this kind of futures. So in the 2015s of the co-cerebral agent, he have some different perspective from a nowadays agent. He will be the human lead and with the shared agencies, and also they have building the ethical checks before the interactive, and also like integrated in the education scenarios. And this is the roadmap. I think from nowadays AI structures to transferring to the 2015s, they will have 3 steps, like to understand it and apply it with the embedded AI infrastructure in the education scenario, and also to co-create with the humans and optimize the cerebral learning ecosystems. As for the impact and future, and Uh, so this is the things I've been presented in the RCA 2025, and I make a poster to demonstrate basically what I working on. And besides that, I have some experience like we've been sharing, we've been holding a design futures symposium last year, which I've been in charge of design some materials, and also I invited the people from IDEOs from the also from the Nesta. They are joining us to talk about and to discuss about the futures. And luckily, I've been also sharing this my project with Dune and Rabbis. They happily released their new book and they've been invited into Royal College Bar, and I was so very happy to see him and to tell them my ideas. And also, like, I've been talk with the Jeta company from the Japan design committee. They are also very interested about the future design futures project. And in the middle of my years, I've been going to the one of the conference, and I published the part of my research project in the session of the design for human agency and reliability and ethics. And finally, the last picture is where I reading our I'm sharing my project in the Design Future Symposiums. Yeah. So basically, besides my project, I have a very RCA gave me a lot of resources, and also I have a lot of academic connection with the different kind of institutions worldwide. And
Perfect.
yeah, that's all. Thank you very much for listening. And if
Thank
you have
you.
any questions, yeah, just let me know.
Perfect. So thank you so much. Thank you all for sharing your journey and insight. We actually have quite a good number of questions, so I just wanted to make sure that we also leave some time for the audience. So one of the speakers, Guannan, has a question regarding what AI technology you used in the project. If you can tell us a little bit more about this. And you mentioned that RCA is a small community. If you can just tell how basically you guys work together.
Yeah, sure. Sorry, I just finished typing the answer.
Perfect.
But yeah, for the first question, the AI application is more like you can see we went to the field testing to collect all the data, so for the data for AI training. So this is what we're also trying to do. So we need to collect more data in pasture, including data from the cows and the animals, and from the pasture itself. We have well, it's a little bit of IP protected, but there's multisensory data collection in the GrazeIQ sensor that we are trying to gather to train the AI model to make good predictions about the grazing time. And I think this also answers the question of limit a little bit because I think the question is about why we are using AI. So initially we were thinking about using machine learning, not AI yet, but it's just we are not using AI for the sake of using AI. It's just because this tool in this situation is more suitable, and the prediction will be more accurate than machine learning at our context. But it really depends on your curiosity. And regarding to the group collaboration, I tapped the answer, but from my first year until now, I think I have collaborated more than 10 projects with all different people across disciplines. And because we have like grand challenge across, I say, all these like cross-discipline modules, and also for in-course for ID ourselves, we also have many group projects in the first year, more like experimental and for collaboration together. And I would say maybe I'm just lucky enough that all of the groups that I collaborated, the experience was super amazing. Like they're really, really nice peers. Maybe but I feel the chance is really small. Like they're really nice and everyone has their own expertise. And when people come into RCA, I would say people have already have existing maturity level or professional backgrounds in collaboration or in good teamwork. So there's no any issues about communication. And for sure, every individual will have their own work style, and that is quite adaptive and flexible. That yeah, this is the overall experience was really nice, and we never assign the roles. Yeah, because he was asking, I think he's asking whether we assign the roles. No, we never do that. It's more like really flexible and organic working mechanism because everyone has multiple expertises usually. Like we all have quite a lot of tools and skills that we have known them quite a while. So when we are in the group project, we just use our strengths. For sure, if some group mates mention that they want to pick up a skill particularly, sometimes we will also conduct things like coding workshop, sketching workshop around our peers ourselves to just improve our skills together. Yeah.
Perfect, thank you. Another question, and I know that Archana, you've been answering to similar question, is basically, let's say that I come from a different background. So let's say writing or humanities, how these apply and how it is actually at RCA can be a good opportunity to put in action something like the project that you guys shared.
Yeah, I actually think that it's a combination of where we are in time right now with all of these technologies and a combination of what Guannan was saying about RCA itself. It's an extremely collaborative and open community, which means that you benefit from expertise that is coming from around the world from different fields, from your peers, from your faculty, from graduates, from PhDs that are currently they're like me and also like seniors who graduated out. So this idea of like, hey, I've come from, let's say, art history or any one particular area. How does that transfer into being a designer today or being a creative technologist today? It really comes down to having an open kind of process of being willing to play and explore. And then the support at RCA is tremendous to do exactly that. And I think that you get a lot of that from also the environment. That's what I wrote is just the studios. I'm just looking out right now as I speak at the studios here. It's incredible, the space and what the physical environment and the people within that can do to kind of scaffold you or nurture your curiosity into new fields. I hope that answers your question, Frederica.
So perhaps let's say somebody that says, I'm coming from a background. So basically you say you guys are coming from product design background and I want to work on experience powered by AI, but how can you do that with no coding background? So this is absolutely possible.
Absolutely. And I mean, just to give a quick plug to what we've built on Gooey, you don't need to have any coding background at all. It's just, and in fact, I'd go so far as to say that like pretty much you don't need to even have a good sense of English. You can do this in your own language of comfort, your first language, whatever that may be. And I think with vibe coding support, you can have a conversation and get to a point that you're happy with. But at the same time, you're also learning because it's updating the code base or the function base or the instruction base. And you can see that. So you can see what you're asking and you can see how it looks when it outputs. And that's a wonderful way to learn, right? And so I think this is what I meant by it is the function of the moment we find ourselves in time, and combined with being here at RCA, I think it's a winning combination. You can't get better than that.
Perfect. Questions. So we have somebody who's ready to join RCA in 2026 fall. They're asking if there are many opportunity for interdisciplinary collaboration. So I can see you're nodding. I don't know who wants to tell a little bit more about this. I don't know if Yutong, Guannan, or even Archana, whoever has some experience in interdisciplinary collaboration at RCA.
I mean, I've been here just 4 months, but in that 4 months, I can't tell you how many different conversations and groups I've become part of. And it's not just restricted to your own peers or your own batchmates. You literally have ways to collaborate with faculty or with people from entirely different disciplines and different parts of their journey, timelines of their journey. So seniors within the field or that you've already applied to, or adjacent fields that are part of other schools within RCA. So I think, Guannan, you also talked about this a lot, of like how collaborative and open RCA is. And just so you guys know, there are like WhatsApp groups that are just sparking all the time with possibilities to join a show or an event or a talk or a workshop. So like there's never a dull moment, really.
Perfect, thank you. Yutong, we have a question for one of the students connected that is aiming to apply at your same program. So what is the level of emphasis that design futurists hold on AI? So basically, do you think that every future praxis will focus on AI from now on?
I would say like our programs quite feel free like from choosing the topic, because we are focusing on like a very macro level, like a complex system, or as well as like wiki problems. I think AI definitely will become like one of the top topic that everybody will care about in the futures. And but also they have like a different parameters or like signals besides like AI. For example, like the environmental change and a certain kind of thing like that. But we do have like a technical, like engineering background of the professors. They will support you to discover more about what is the AI really about. It's about energy. It's about also like computing resources, or like infrastructures, or like how they interact with people. So you can find the professor will encourage you to find a specific perspective to do the research on AI. Yeah, hope I can answer this question.
You did, Archana. Oh, perfect. Okay. AI fairness.
Yeah. I just picked up this book from RCA's incredible library system. And so just to what Yutong said, definitely there are, a vast array of books and journal articles and research articles that are coming out, especially in futures thinking and AI futures. But also, the system here, we really do have a lot, of opportunities to get some of the latest kind of knowledge through. So yeah.
Perfect, thank you. Guannan, another question from Raphael. What other innovative idea could further contribute to sustainable rural development? Basically, mainly focus on less developed markets, like for example, South America. And thinking that I found it particularly interesting how access to this kind of information could help democratize technology. So any thought on this, or?
Well, I would like to say that we would love to. It's just the reason that we are firstly working on the UK market is because we are here right now. Like as a designer, we need to ensure that all the research and insights are pretty accurate, and so I think the only reason that we are not doing that yet is because it might not be so convenient to access right now, but I believe that if we have opportunity to literally go to access that area, because for our in-curricular courses, the timeline might be a little bit of intense, like hard to tackle the problem thorough, but we literally love to look deeper into these areas. I think I have a rough impression that you mentioned soil. Actually, our project starts with soil. And also from Imperial College side, they have a really nice paper published on Nature is about how to detect the nitrogen from the soil and with a low cost, which is great. So our initial direction was actually how could we provide a solution to to ensure the soil is not so polluted by the organism produced by the live animals to avoid the water or soil pollution. It's just we want just regarding to the team mechanism. As you can see, we are a bunch of mechanical engineers and software engineers. So we were thinking if we don't have people from study real bio or agriculture, like bioscience side in my team. There's other there's people studying this in IDE, but so in the end, we just choose the direction that we are more confident about. We can use our expertise to ensure this can be landed practically. But these directions are definitely really interesting. And if we have more opportunities to talk to experts or engage with peers with such kind of expertise, we would definitely love to look at. Yes.
Perfect. So if for our speaker is okay, maybe we can just go through a couple of more questions since we have loads. Just one is regarding, just curious, what are your opinion on the environmental footprint on Gen AI? I see the potential of it being beneficial to human, but the environmental impact gives me complex feeling. It's hard to give probably a straight answer, but if we want to share any thought on this?
I can pop in here and say that as we have been developing, our own image model trainer, for example, to reduce bias. So the point of like doing some good with AI, and in my case, I'm really looking at image-based bias and underrepresentation. But in the process of doing that, we're clearly using a lot of compute. And we're clearly like encouraging people to use a lot of compute so that this kind of constant weighing of pros versus cons, or good for humanity, bad for environment or ecology is an ongoing topic. What we've done is to kind of bring that to the forefront so people can make more informed choices, that they're more careful when they generate or use generative AI. So for example, every time you have a workflow that you want to hit run on or hit generate on, before you do that, we call out what it means in terms of energy cost and what it means in terms of water consumption. So and in a human kind of understandable way, for example, this will cost you X number of credits, that's a monetary cost, and this will be about 5 minutes of an EU household in terms of energy, or this will cost you 6 cups of water. And so it's one way to kind of always keep up front and center that we're making these kind of ecological, planetary kind of cost decisions against humanitarian and progress and innovation decisions. The hope is that with more people joining and growing the body of human brains and human hearts to this technology, the hope is that we will be able to come up with better ways to tackle the environmental costs that AI generates. Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you so much for sharing your thoughts. And meanwhile, Raphael is actually thanking Guannan for for your answer. I just wanted to ask you all before, let's say, trying to like come to a close to our panel. I know there is a lot to say, actually, a lot has been said, but I'm sure there will be much more. I wanted to ask you all if there is anything else that you wanted to share with the audience regarding your journey, your project, anything that could be, let's say, like encouraging, like thinking about to be hopefully future students at RCA. So if there is anything that you feel like it might be useful to share. Yutong, you have the mic open. If you want to go first, or if you want to have some time to think, I can ask.
Oh, sorry, I'm just typing the answers.
Don't worry,
but,
don't worry, don't worry.
Yeah.
Or even in case somebody like Archana, if you already has something ready, it's just like if there is anything that we feel like we want to share. I mean, a lot we said, a lot has been said. I'm sure there is much more, but anything that you think it could be beneficial for the audience that maybe you didn't have the chance to share in your presentation.
Oh, no. I mean, I think that really it's just a kind of a thank you from me just for all of you to have been here, but also an encouragement to any of you who have already got into RCA or thinking of getting into RCA, is that, you know, please do try to play and, you know, curiously explore these technologies. I think the future is upon us in many ways. Yutong, what do you think, since you're a futurist? Definitely the future is upon us. We have the agency and the ability right now where we're at to shape where these futures can go, and you know, each of you who are in this room have a way to contribute. So please do. The barriers are so few if you actually look out there and try to engage. And so, yeah, don't let fear stop you.
Yeah, I would say like from my personal experience, we have the student from very different kind of background, and we are. I think it's like the important thing is to asking the better questions in our course, and also like use your unique perspective to trying to solve this social or environmental challenges. So I think I see no barriers in our studies, and everyone can and just use their imagination and also their what they are professional about, and to solve the questions. And also like with the help of the AI, I think the the realization become so much easier. So we're mainly focusing on to organize your and also like use a new mindset to become a future driven designers. Yeah.
Thank you, Guannan. Last but not least.
Yeah, I would like to say, when you're joining RCA, just I remember there's someone maybe ask like, what possible potential research directions that you could get inspired from. Though I do have like resources that I could recommend. It's also like I think before people joining RCA, we have maybe not too clear, but at least something that you definitely will be enthusiastic in and be responsible for, and what you believe that is going to be a direction you think this probably be our responsibility to solve it. The reason I like this topic about sustainability is because, as I mentioned, our RC alumni, my bachelor mentor, Bigos, he used to teach me that as a designer, you have to design the things really, really responsible, because if you are not doing it, you are wasting. You're actually hurting the environment. You are wasting all of these materials. The product you design, if they goes into market, it's not only wasting those raw materials, but also causing a lot of waste in the end. And as a designer, we must be really responsible. And I think this applies to maybe all the people all artists that are working in different industries. And so I think as an RCA student, for sure, or a researcher, like for sure, we are really firm about what we believe and what we could do. How could we use our own expertise or creativity to make these things, to make the things better, to make this world better? And I think this kind of spirit is always extending across the decades of history of RCA. And yeah, we really like really looking forward to see you in campus in September. Yeah.
Perfect. I just echo that. And I really wanted to thank our panelists for your time, for the presentation, for staying over for the Q&A. Thank you so much. And I also wanted to thank the attendees for their question. In case you do have any further question, the session was recorded. We're going to share with you over the next few days, so you can be able actually to see all the contact details for the speakers and their project. And I really wanted to thank you all again, and looking forward to seeing you soon at the next live webinar with RCA, and hopefully you get to meet our panelists on campus. And I can see that Stephanie just added some recruitment event that RCA is going to run. So please make sure that you sign up for those sessions, and really looking forward to seeing you soon. Thank you again, and have a great rest of your day.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thanks.
Bye.
Thank you.